Well, it's day 2 of the Wild Dog Rockin event. We've had like a heap of rain overnight, which is going to make it pretty slippery on the grass, and then the rocks probably end up slippery as well. The car's pretty solid, other than the axle yesterday. Everything else is good. Quick bolt check this morning and a quick go over the car. Massive thanks to the pit crew. They worked pretty hard to get the car ready this morning. But I think we've got 4 stages to do today, and then they're going to do like presentation, and then that'll be it. So I'm looking forward to getting out there. We finished yesterday in 2nd place, which is pretty surprising. I thought we were going to be a bit further down, but 2nd place is awesome. And then Scotty is currently in 1st place, so he's going pretty good. There's a few points gap between us. I think there's 30 or 40 points between us. But yeah, we'll see if we can catch up with these 4 stages today and see how we go.
Who's next?
Views on today?
We're on.
Woo.
A few running repairs. Bit of a car check. And then we'll get out there and bloody give it a flogging.
Keep your eye on the purple curse.
That bad.
Oh, actually, what I want to do, well, you go do this thing.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
left, bit left. Right, Aaron. Second. And go around the rock to the left. You finish box. Watch this rock in front of your diff though, right? Fucking perfect. edge. A little to the left, left. Watch that rock, yeah. Nice. Nice. Oh, round to the right. Ah. Yep.
That,
Got it.
I'll talk to you. That's it, the weekend's over. We had a pretty good run today. There's certainly a lot of bent bar work and rock rash, but we had a good run today. So we're gonna head back, pack up all our stuff, and then we're gonna do presentation and then head home. So fingers crossed we still hold our position.
First place was 998 points. Second place was 982, so it's pretty tight. But Kessler in second place. So first place, the Gill Bars.
Battle scars. Had it back on the trailer in one piece.
The nabbies aren't in one piece. This slider.
Bit second hand on the door. It's on your side, isn't it, mate?
My side. The door's bent actually.
How'd you go this weekend, Tommy?
Yeah, not bad.
How's the car?
Fucked. Yeah, it's fucked. It's not my car though, so I don't care.
Rock rush galore. The old purple curse. Still alive. Just.
Well, that's it. We've made it home. The event's done, and that concludes the 2022 racing year. So this race was certainly the most like technical out of the 3 this year. It was like a lot of tight, off-cambered, navigating through the rocks and whatever, like multiple line choices, and like it was very easy to make a mistake and end up in the wrong spot. There were like, I think there was like 5 or 6 rollovers, maybe. I think, yeah, about that much. There was one real good one, 360 plumbing. He went over 4.5 times and landed on his roof, which was pretty gnarly. I didn't see it in person, but I've seen plenty of videos of it. And then Molly in the pink TB Turbo, I think she went over twice and landed back on her wheels. And then there was the Zook landed on its nose, on its roof, and a couple others went on their sides. Like, it was pretty wild. Even us in the car, like there was, I lost count how many times like the car just was borderline, you know, tipping over on its side. Like there was several times where I thought it was going and I was already looking for somewhere to winch off, and then just all you can see is rocks. Like there's no real like good winch point. But luckily, yeah, we never went over, which was good, but we certainly got close. The car is a little beat up. Like the sliders are all punched up and there's a few extra dings in the chassis and that, but I don't really think I put a scratch on the cab, like the doors and that. I'm pretty sure it's all still good. Collectively over the last, you know, 3 races, yeah, like she's a bit beat up. It's like the front bar is obviously still a bit bent. The scrubbies have been bent in a bit. The sliders are punched in. There's a few extra bends and that on the back. But mechanically the car's all right. Obviously I've still got the problem with the bent housings front and rear. And now I've got the problem of the rear locker. I've got to fix that somehow. Being an old style locker, you can't actually get like replacement end caps for it. But don't quote me on this. I'm pretty sure Roadrunner actually make aftermarket or get aftermarket ones made. I'm pretty sure. I'd have to look that up. But that could be handy. Hopefully I can just get a replacement end cap for it, put it back together, and then the locker's pretty much good to go, because it didn't actually like destroy anything on the inside. It just, when the actual corkscrews, it expands out and just blows out where the bearing seats, and yeah, as you would have seen, cracked the bearing or whatever. So just need a new end plate there. But yeah, I do have to say thanks to like Scotty. He brought a spare center, because without that spare center, we would have been in a little bit of trouble. So like he had a 3.9 LSD rear that he keeps for his car, because he runs 3.9s. And yeah, he was nice enough to let us strip that down, steal the LSD and put it in our diff and on our way. And it was also handy, he had diff oil, so that was good. But it was funny, I think before we even started racing, I think he had to change out his rear tail shaft, and he had one brought up which turned out to be a little bit too long. So then he borrowed my spare rear tail shaft that I took to the event, which was actually my cousins who come along in the pit crew. So there was like parts getting flown around everywhere, and everyone was helping everyone out, which is good. And Andrew Savage, he had a Weekend Warrior car. He helped me out as well, because I had a rookie moment, and for some reason I had 2 right-hand axles and no left. So he let me have one of his spare left axles, which was like, yeah, that was pretty lucky, because without that we wouldn't have been going anywhere. So yeah, we walked away with 2nd place in this event. I think there was like 3 stage wins and then a couple seconds and a couple thirds, I can't remember. But yeah, we walked away with 2nd place. Scotty walked away with 1st place. He had a few dramas of his own, but managed to, you know, get it across the finish line and take the win. But there was only 16 points between us. So, you know, when you're talking, I think the final scores were, his was 998 and I was 982. So when you're talking nearly 1,000 points, to have 16 points between us made for really close racing. This event really opened the door for absolutely anyone to come and like be on the top spot or up the top, because like we were making mistakes left, right and center, because I certainly at the start of the event, we walked a couple stages, and I certainly underestimated like just how off cambered some of the stuff is and how hard it is to navigate through some of the rocks. Like, you know, you'll sort of be off camber and you'll be driving over the rocks, and then, you know, a rock will roll out and then you'll be wedged on the rock, and then it'll push you down the hill, and then you're in all sorts of positions. Like, it's real easy to make a mistake. So yeah, it really did open the door for absolutely anyone. We've had a real good year of racing. Real happy with our results, with a 2nd place at the first Wild Dog. and then a first place at the Wild Dog All-Terrain, which was at Tooborac, and then now another second place at the Wild Dog Rockin at Tooborac. It certainly hasn't been easy to keep that consistency throughout the year. It's definitely, like, short course is very hard on the car. So to have a car last 3 events and place on the podium at every event is a pretty good feeling. And realistically, I haven't actually done that much maintenance to it since before the first Wild Dog. From memory, I only had 1 or 2 days prep before Tooborac, and then I had, yeah, maybe, you know, 3 or 4 days before Tooborac to do work to the car. And it seems to have lasted the whole 3 events pretty unscathed, really. So yeah, massive thanks to, you know, all the pit crew that come along. They all helped out heaps with getting the car fixed and ready and back on the stages. I think I had like 3 cameras getting thrown around between everyone, so I'm sure there's heaps of footage I've got to go through. And thanks to Jesse for jumping in the passenger seat for all 3 events. He's a pretty big reason why we ended up so far up on the podium. He does well and he's pretty fit, so he's good at mountain goating up all the hills. Massive thanks to the guys at Roadrunner Off-Road. They've been really helpful this year, which is muchly appreciated. And I'm sure I've got some shopping to do after this event back there. Another huge thanks to Jimbo and his wife Narelle and everyone that, you know, the recovery crews, the marshals, everyone else that helped set up and pack up these events, and the property owners and everything. Like, you know, there's a lot of key factors involved to make like just one weekend of racing happen. So that would not be easy, especially running 3 events this year. Like, it would have been a massive job. So thanks for all that. And a massive thanks to my wife, Emily. She comes to these events and she holds the camera, and, you know, she makes sure that I've got a bottle of water or something and a bit of food, and, you know, she puts up with me always being in the shed and whatever. So that's always appreciated, because without her doing that sort of stuff, it wouldn't be as easy. So that's it. Let's wrap all this stuff up. No more racing this year. I'm about 99.9% sure that I'm not racing next year. This year has been flat out for me, not even just with the cars, like, you know, the shed and stuff around the house and work, the merch that's going on at the moment, and then the racing and whatever else. Like, it's been a massive few months, and I just want to kick back for a bit, so I certainly don't want to touch the car. I might patch it up so I can take it for some weekend drives, but yeah, I'm pretty confident I will not be racing next year. If the car is going next year around the times that they have these races, they are planning on another 3 apparently. You know, I might help with setup or recovery or something. So I still want to go to the events. I just won't be racing. I've got a few ideas in my head that, anyway, we'll see what next year brings. So thanks everyone for watching all these racing videos. They're not easy to make, and there's like, it's a massive job to put them all together. So I appreciate you watching them all. Hopefully, you know, I'm just planning on get back in this car for a bit. Like I said, I haven't been full driving in this car for a long time. So there'll be more of this car, and then, yeah, maybe some social drives with the race car down the track. But we'll see what happens in the future. So until then, we will catch you on the next one.